Hey, Jim Crackton here. The Civil War has some great photographs, much higher resolution than you might think. On this episode, we'll take a look at railroads, which were a critical part of the Civil War. They carried soldiers, supplies, war machines, and even refugees. This is the main railroad depot in Atlanta, Georgia in 1864. Sherman had recently taken this depot, one of the main munition centers of the Confederacy. So let's take a look at the Civil War and the railroads that serviced it, here on the Crackton Files. Let's explore a few details in the photo. On this cart, there's a flyer for a concert. I couldn't make out anything else, but this flyer is probably advertising a concert for the nearby concert hall before the Confederates lost control of the city. Up here is the Trout House, which was one of Atlanta's main hotels founded in 1849. When Sherman left Atlanta in November 1864, the hotel and much of the business district was destroyed. Before the fall of Atlanta, Whitehall Street was a dense business district. Much of the street was burned, though not all of it. Today it's now Peachtree Street Southwest. The wagon train there may be the Union Army moving out. Back here is A.C. Wiley's Wholesale Mercantile Shop. The building housed some offices for people involved in the Confederacy and was also a shelter during Union bombardments. Here's another view of the Atlanta Depot and how incredibly busy it was. There is the concert hall, which may have been called the Athenaeum. This is probably where the concert was held that we saw earlier. This photo shows the evacuation of civilians out of Atlanta. You can see them waiting on top of the railroad cars. Because space was so tight, it did actually happen that civilians would ride on top of the cars. It's likely that men would ride on top and women and children in the cars. Hey, check this out. Soldiers are gathered around a stereoscopic photo viewer. 3D stereo photographs were quite popular in the mid to late 19th century, which were cardboard cards with two photos, one for each eye. You'd put the card in the viewer and look through the lenses. And this is 1864, so some of them may have never even seen a photograph, much less a 3D stereo one. Here are some flyers pasted to the building. It's hard to make them out, but the one on the bottom is advertising a benefit night on November 5th. According to the photo's caption, this photograph may have been taken during active Nashville battles happening nearby. Looks like civilians near the trains, and you can see some tents nearby. Okay. I know during a war you have to make do, but that latter looks kind of suspect. Crackton is not sure OSHA would approve. Up here is the Tennessee State Capitol building, which was begun in 1845 and completed in 1859, so only 5 years old. It survived and is still there today. City Point became a huge Union port when it was captured in 1864. It was only a tiny town prior to that, and they quickly grew it to one of the largest ports in the world at that time. It became a primary supply line for the entire Union during the war. At peak, it was moving 3,000 tons of supplies per day. Riverboats like this routinely move troops from City Point to various other forts. These ruins are around 2 years after bombardment and fires. It shows that the fall of the Confederate rail system early on was critical to their losing the war. Hanover Junction Station was completed in 1854. During the Civil War, it became a crucial transportation hub for the Union Army. The Junction Hotel would have only been 12 years old at this point, but I don't know about that balcony. It's looking a little shaky. People are getting ready to board the train. Lincoln passed through here at some point, but unfortunately he was not on this train.
Up! All aboard! Up! All aboard!
Amazingly, the depot and the hotel building are still there after 160 years. Though the hotel is now a private residence, and I'm not sure when that balcony fell off. This last one is unusual. It's likely a photo taken by the Confederacy, who typically didn't have resources for photographs. This was a railroad-mounted siege gun photographed during the siege of Petersburg. It was a 32-pounder naval gun mounted on a protected railroad carriage. I figured let's end this video with a bang, and I'll see you on the next explosive episode of